Well, good morning. We're out on the river. It's a special day. It's the walleye season opener for Zone 16, which is where we are. I'm sure you could probably guess the river we're on. I fish it all the time. Joining with Greg, we're gonna cast with some jigs and maybe some light crankbaits and things like that. But we're not out in a boat. We're not even fishing from shore, technically speaking. We've donned the waders and the vests to travel light and actually move out on a little shallow flat. And hopefully we can jig some of the deep drop-offs effectively and pull out a walleye or two, maybe even a pike. What do you think?
Sounds like a good plan. Let's get to her.
All right, we're ready for the first cast of the walleye opener.
Let's get her in the water. Let's get some fish.
So you're in that. You found the deep hole at the edge of the drop off.
I did.
It's right in front of us. So we've gone out as far as we can go safely before it gets just too deep. So I think this is going to be a fun morning.
All right, so
Let's give her.
here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Real slow current. Even after the water came up, it's still really slow. Gravelly bottom. Making good bottom contact. I like how we've got the bait fish rising, like literally right in front of us. You know, if we could get out further to where that deep part is, I would have brought the fly rod. That would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You didn't put it on right then. We may have to move around different spots, but I think we've got a lot of effective area to cast and fish here. We'll try here for a bit, and then we'll see if we maybe need to go up or maybe down into the park or something.
Yeah.
Shaping up to be a pretty nice morning though too.
Surprising, as soon as they're calling for rain, this is beautiful. It's a couple degrees warmer than they called for and no rain. Fantastic.
Right. I don't care if we just catch like a rock bass or something. We need to get a fish. Just to break the tension first thing here.
Man, this is calm too. Wow. Nice out.
It's calm because the boats haven't come in yet. I think everybody's going to be fishing in the in Lake Erie today.
Good. This is for us.
Might have to switch to a heavier jig just to get this further. Watching the surface for anything kind of chasing bait fish.
I'm seeing big fish rise all over the place, which is a good sign. Right in front of us.
We got weeds.
Weed fish.
Doesn't count.
No.
So what we're starting out with today, just simple tactics, just but 1/8 ounce jig heads with your normal curly tail grub. Just tipping it with a little bit of worm. It is really colored, so I'm using a bright jig. It's been pretty much clear all week, and then the rain that we got yesterday and the night before really kind of chocolated the water up on us. So I'm using a yellow jig head, 1/8 ounce, like I said, and a little bit of just a curly tail grub tipped with a chunk of night crawler. Now I've coupled that with 6-pound line. I learned my lesson last year, spooling this up with 4-pound test and then getting that 20-pound carp. So I went with 6-pound line this year on this setup. And we're just doing what we can to cast into the deep channel and bring it back through that channel, up the drop-off and into the shallows a bit. We're hoping that the conditions will have those fish actively feeding both above and below that drop-off. And we can get into them. So it's just really slow kind of crawl, just kind of slightly twitching it, just imparting some action to keep it, kind of bouncing up and down off the bottom. Hopefully, we'll get some results. But I suppose that depends entirely on whether or not Greg knows what he's doing. What do you think?
We'll see.
Actually, it's a nice cozy little rock spot you got here, eh?
Not bad. It's kind of gravelly.
I would love to try this spot when it's this calm like this if there was a mayfly hatch. I bet you the water would just start boiling with fish. Well, it's starting to rain, but we just had a very pleasant surprise. Our technique looks like it's probably going to work. One quick whack and I lose a chunk of my worm and the tail of my jig. And my line wasn't more than 10 feet out. So either there's a really heavy pike out there that just wants to attack us, or that was a walleye bite. So I'm gonna fix this up and get this back out here, and hopefully we can keep the camera out of the rain. Well, we've been fishing for a couple hours now. The rain has stopped. It's been raining steadily, so there's been no updates in between. We've had several hits. All short strikes, taking the end of the jig or just ripping the worm off the jig. And you missed one on the spinner, didn't you, Greg?
Yeah.
So Greg's actually moved to the other side of me. And the current has shifted on us as well, so now the mud is actually getting broken up with some clear water from that outflow out from us there. So what I'm also trying is, it's kind of like basically just a homemade spinner, but it's like a miniaturized worm harness that I'm using for casting, and I'm tipping it with a jig and a worm just like I was, with the regular jig head. And we're still seeing the odd fish rise out here. It's just a nice morning to be out and enjoy the season opener. All we need is a fish. I'm blaming you if we don't get any. It's all your fault. It's all Greg's fault. It's always Greg's fault. But now that we got this clear water in front of us, maybe that'll turn something on. I'd really, as much as I want to get a walleye, I would love to get a pike right now.
Pike would be fantastic.
Maybe you should go back to the car and get your carp gear just so you catch something today. What do you think?
Nope. Oh, we're on a mission.
We got what, about 2.5 hours left?
Yeah.
So, still got a good chance.
Switched up to chartreuse yellow.
You're on chartreuse and a yellow jig head. And I've got the orange spinner on right now. Probably switch to maybe a diving crankbait in about 15-20 minutes. We'll see. The gentleman walking around using a spinner bait. Maybe he'll get a
We
pike.
can always shift over to the aqueduct too, and
Yeah, I think after our coffee delivery arrives, which should be any time, we'll probably move spots.
now that's service.
Try a deeper hole up here. Yeah. Stop laughing, you're scaring my fish.
I like my laugh. Bringing them in.
Bringing them in. Telling them not to bite.
Hey.
Morning.
Yeah. No problem.
Just don't hook him. Or wait a minute. Yeah, hook him. I found that hole. Well, we're still fishing around. Looks like our coffee delivery may have just arrived. So once we get our coffee, I think we'll rethink our strategy. We're probably going to move, because we're fishing near the aqueduct, we're probably going to go closer to that. Obviously, we will not be waiting in the water there.
That way? Yeah.
There's the coffee. And yeah, we'll probably fish over there, stay onshore because it's obviously safer to not wade in over there. We're already close to the drop-off where it is here, so you know, safety is obviously our first concern. And then we may move downriver a bit, just to try and crank one fish out. What have we here? There he is, the man of the hour. Stinky. Stinky brought us coffee.
Guys,
Good.
catching anything good?
Just a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been pouring rain. We've moved locations again, and finally, like, we keep getting these whacks on the jigs, and they're shredding our jigs. And here, just managed a little hammer handle. Need to get the pliers out for this guy. So he just swirled on it, hooked him just underneath the jaw there. Well, hours in the rain. That's the result so far. So we're still trying for some walleye, but you know, it's nice to know that the fish are here and they're biting. Let's get him back here. Yes, yes. All right, Greg, it's your turn. Well, it's time to pack things in for the morning. We're up on top of the aqueduct now. We're trying a little bit of jigging straight down, just in case we get that one last bite. But after moving to a few spots along the river this morning, you know, starting just back there at the bend, you know, lots of short strikes. It seemed that they were shy today, and I've got a pocket full of shredded jigs to prove it. But, you know, we did manage the one pike. Had a few really good takes right afterwards, and yeah, that was about it. So unless we get one in a couple of minutes, you know, that we can show you, you know, putting the pressure on you. You know, at least it was a good outing. It poured all morning, so we're completely soaked. Time to wrap it up and head home. So we'll see you next time.